Good morning and welcome back to another episode on the Corn Kings channel. I'm your host, Down to Crypto TA. Nice pumpy action we got yesterday. It went a lot faster than I was expecting for it to go, but we did, it was called on point. It was called on point. So we ended up getting into that 20 SMA on the daily time frame, which is something that we discussed yesterday. Getting into that 20 SMA, it looked more likely that we would do that based on the slope of it. Um, Something else too with the daily time frame. I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna explain to you the levels that I'm looking at in here. I am in a long. I took a long and a short. I took a long off of the channel low in here, and I'll be looking to get stopped out on this just below this low in here. And I also took the short right here. Actually entered it from this point right here. I didn't actually catch the top right there, so I entered it from around this point right here. And if it plays out, what I'm looking for it to get to the golden pocket. Now, there are a lot of reasons why that might not be possible, um, which is what I'm about to discuss right now. All right. So, what you're seeing right here at this line right here, this is the candle closure from yesterday. So, the body high from yesterday is what this is right here, which is why likely we didn't deviate too far below it. Now, this is also the 50% retracement level right here also, depending on how you pulled your fib. I pulled this one from this point here at the touch of the channel to the top here. So if I just add the 50 in here, you'll see that that's exactly what we tapped down to, the 50. Um, I'm really not liking that 50. And I'm hoping that we get into some of the gaps that were left behind. So there are two gaps that I'm looking at. One is just the 1 hour gap, which they're always drawn to the midpoint for me. And that's the midpoint of that 1 hour fair value gap here. If you're on, actually, you won't be able to see it like this. Let's just see what this candle low here is. So this candle low is 67,218. I'm using a Binance chart in this case. So 67,218.71. So we'll just say 67,218. That's going to be the midpoint of the fair value gap for the 1 hour time frame. For the 4 hour time frame, I like this a lot better because it puts us inside of the golden pocket and the 786. And that's the midpoint of the fair value gap. The only other thing that I would be looking for outside of that fair value gap midpoint is going to be a full fill, because there's a smaller gap down here with some support over here. So a full fill of that inefficiency from the 4 hour time frame. Now it does start to get bearish if we do get down here. Why? Because this line right here, this one, let me just take you over to a daily time frame real quick while I'm looking to see if Bitcoin's going to hold this channel. And it didn't deviate too far from it, which makes it a little bit bearish, in my opinion. Anytime it doesn't deviate far enough to at least try to go back for the top, then it's likely to break down from it. So here on the daily, a couple of things that you're going to want to plot out here. You know how I draw my support and resistance levels. You see me do it plenty of times here on the channel. I go for the body. So that's one there. And this is how you're seeing it on the other chart that I have over there. This is one here. We got that bounce from right there. And then you have this one here. Let me make sure that that's the top. I'm just looking at all three of these just in case we manage to make our way into that 6-day fair value gap. And then I'm watching right here. Now this is just the body. It's not the wicks. So in terms of the wicks, what I see that tends to happen is price comes up, it takes the liquidity, or sometimes it gets stopped out right here. But in other cases, it'll take the liquidity and then you'll settle back down here. If it's going to hold that support, you'll settle back down here. If not, then we're going to look to lose that. So you can see how when I turn the candles on, you can see how we're holding right now above that level. We're holding above that right now, and we're tapping out around where that wick high was from the prior week. So that pivot high where we took the liquidity is where we're kind of tapping out right now on Bitcoin. So if we get past this one to the upside, then I'm going to be looking for this liquidity here to be taken and look for price to settle back down here towards this the line chart pivot, or lose that, and then we start to roll over if we're not going to get up here to the 6-day fair value gap. But this is what I'm going to be watching for. The reason why I'm watching for this one is because this would naturally be the next target based on the Bollinger Band, because we have the ability, as I said, we have the room to be able to move up to that point. We actually rejected off of the standard deviation one. My bad. Yesterday, I know that we were struggling right here at the standard deviation. I'm sorry, the 20 SMA. Once we did get the breakthrough, we talked about getting into the 20 SMA, and then we pushed even further by getting into standard deviation one. So the next one that I'm going to be looking for is, you see how standard two on your Bollinger is positioned right here, where we have this pivot at here. This is what I'm looking for. If Bitcoin manages to hold and get the push up, I'm looking for it to come into this the standard deviation two, taking that liquidity right there. That's my next target. This is on my radar, as I mentioned, but this is ideally my next target right here for Bitcoin if we hold. If we continue to hold right here. If we're not holding right here, where am I going? Back down here, back to where we were struggling at yesterday, where the standard deviation one to the downside is located at, where we have that pivot there. This is where I'll be looking at right here. Lines up perfect. That could give like a little inverse head and shoulder right there to potentially be able for me to target higher than just here. So if we did this, and it may not be as clean as I'm putting it on the chart, could leave some wick below it or something like that. But if it lines up, if this happens and it lines up, then I'm going to take an entry right there. So that's the stuff that you're seeing on my 15-minute time frame right now. And just like that. But I'm going to take the rest of this off of the charts. But you can see how that works. Even like down here where we tapped into the 786, the reclaim was back above none other than the body. So I like to, that's what I've been teaching here on the channel. Whenever you watch me draw out my levels. Okay, so back over to, yeah, like I said, I would definitely use the Bollinger. You know, I tweeted this a couple of days back. But I'm always teaching you to kind of, use this as a reference. It's a great tool, really great tool. All right, so one of them is gonna stop me out. I got stopped out of my short yesterday, actually. I took the short off of this candle right here. I didn't do this in here. I didn't even want to do the SFP because we were still squeezing through. Now we were riding. I did post on it as soon as we broke the level over here. I posted on it and I said what I was looking for. But because we did this extra wick to the upside, I said no, 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 no. And I wanted to make sure that there was some sort of pushback after that. Even though the wick looks nasty, I had to be sure there was some pushback on it. So I ended up taking the short from here. I dropped my stop down just in case, because I wanted to stay in profit. I didn't think that we were actually going to come back up above here, not like this. I didn't think we were going to take out this top right here. So I pushed my stop loss into here, and that wick got me like while I was sleeping last night. So I woke up ready to cry, like, oh my gosh, I'm out of my short position. And yeah, so that's why I'm trying to find another one right now. And all we hit right here was the 786, which lines up with this liquidity that we have in here, which isn't a lot of liquidity in here. It's not a lot of liquidity. The biggest liquidity is right here, right now. It's up here. So I would be eager to attempt the short again, back up around here. Which this is one of the daily levels that I shared with you, but we'll see if we're not going to break down right here and do that first. What I need to be looking at, we do this first, then I'm going to see if we can catch along off of this. The stops are pretty tight. It's like a $400 move against price action. Um, I'm not going to limit order into it though. I'm going to see what the reaction is because I might be able to drop it in and get a better price on it. But I don't want to deviate too far away from it. Otherwise, we can come back up and treat it back as resistance and then continue to move back towards the downside, all the way back down towards the lows. All right. See if there was anything else I needed to explain on this. I don't really think that there was anything else I needed to explain for how I'm looking at the chart today. But what I was saying over here with this, like, I'm always teaching on the Bollinger Bands. There's no reason to really want to get short until at least the Bollinger starts to turn on you, especially when you can see that price action is just staying within standard deviation 1 and 2, which was basically, if I do this, you're about to see this right here was all standard deviation 1 and 2. So you just stayed in the pocket the entire move up. You see that trend line cuts through here. Like you wouldn't have knew about this pivot right here yet, but you know that you're in the pocket. And that's a big no-no. It's a no-no to attempt any shorts through here. As long as we're staying in here. What are you waiting for? You're waiting for a closure below standard 1. Once you get that, and this is where I tweeted, once I could identify that, that's where I tweeted and shared. Oh, okay, so I'm looking to see if we can't get down into, I had a 382 and a 50% retracement on it, but then we started to go sideways, which typically happens next is you come down towards your 20 SMA, you bounce back up, and you're looking for it to respect the standard 1, which you can see if I turn it off like this, we did respect it. But that wick, gosh, that pissed me off. That wick pissed me off. And that wick got through there and took extra liquidity because there was so many people throughout this entire move trying to short. And I said that too. Like so many people just continuously trying to short, and all it did was just grind prices higher because all that liquidity kept building up overhead. So we just kept grinding prices higher and higher and higher. You don't short in the pocket. You just don't short when you're in the pocket. You wait until you're out of the pocket and then you look for your position. But you never short while you're in the pocket. Right now we're sideways. We're tightening in here a little bit. So we'll figure out what our direction is going to be here soon. If I'm looking at, let me see what I got. I really don't have a direction right now. Like there's no tightening on the other indicator that I use at all. So we're just sideways waiting to see what's going to happen. And so I kind of figured we were going to break that because we're not moving far enough away from it. And this worked really good too. Like you would have just been, oh, we've broken it, but you can see how we tap danced on it until we broke down from it. If you need to know what that is, uh, we was looking at this trend line through here yesterday because we'd identified where our support was at. Then you just drag it up to your high, and there you have it. There was another one through here too that you could have did that didn't have the same merit as this one did, and the only reason why I figured this one did was because when I first saw that wick there, it let me know that this was important. But there was another one in here where price got this bounce right here, and the way to spot that would again been to try to trap price inside a parallel. Anytime you can connect 2 points is really good. Hold on, I don't want to use that because it's not. Actually, I do. Let me just change the style. So right here into here, you can see it looked like it's a broadening, ascending broadening formation, which is a bearish formation. Let me just throw that out there. It is, like a broadening. Ascending broadenings tend to be bearish. And in this case, anybody who was bullish on price action yesterday felt like prices were not high enough, and bears was like, this is ridiculous. I'm in disbelief, and this crap is going back down. And so we ended up printing that um, ascending broadening formation you see on the chart, which again, like I said, is a bearish formation. But if you do those two pivots right there and you drop this here to there, you can see where we got the bounce from. That first little bounce that we got, drop, back test, rejection. I should have left it on here to look at it like this, but even still, it got through that wick. I mean, it got through the trend line and left that wick and just killed my freaking position. I'm so pissed off. So pissed off. And so that would have been that. That would have been that one. And I didn't do the circles today. No circles today. I actually thought about killing my loan um, that I entered into here once we broke this channel, but I'm just going to stick to the plan and just let price action come down here if it's going to do it, if it's going to take it out, because I'm still admiring the fact that this could still hold us up. And if it doesn't, then, we get those lower targets. Anyway, so I'm just going to take a hit if it does come down to here. I'm going to take more of a hit on the long than I am on the short position. I could actually take some profits out of the long. I should have did that. I'm being a tad bit greedy right now as we're going just sideways, that high, this low, waiting for them to decide what liquidity they want to um, take from us. Right now, this is just really choppy through here, just really choppy, and that was the break too. So just using your RSI as well, you can see through here You know you're in the pocket already. You now have a connection point here, which is the pivot, or actually you was in the pocket after that as well. But you got those two pivots right there connected. You stay in the pocket, stay in the pocket, stay in the pocket. This is the point where you close below that standard one. Also was the point in which you broke below your momentum line here on the RSI. So that was that. I tell you the truth, the reason why I didn't take this one right here is because I was in disbelief, to be honest with you. Like sometimes sometimes I'll map things out and I'll have a plan, and if it starts moving too fast, it starts moving too fast and I start seeing other stuff, then I'll try to fight whatever analysis I have. I'll start trying to fight it. Because you notice yesterday, in one of the tweets that I put out yesterday, I was looking at that big gap in between. It's a big, actually, I could do it from here. It's a big gap in between. You see this big gap right here between these EMAs. And I was like, I don't think we get up here to this one. I don't think we do that right now. And then everything just started going too fast for me. And I hit disbelief. If it goes too fast with even though I'm looking at it the right way, if it goes too fast, then I start to freak out. And I started to freak out yesterday because when I posted it, and I worry about what other people, how other people perceive the information that I give too, because I'm always trying to give quality information. And if I feel like, man, maybe I messed somebody up or something like that, I know I'm not giving financial advice. I know you're required to do your own research. Um, but I do genuinely have concern about other people and their trading. I really do. So it started to freak me out a little bit. And I was like, I don't think that we really get up here, but I highlighted it anyway. But I don't think that we really get up here because we have all of this space through here. Um, this was our FOMO loan from yesterday, which I took profit. I think it was around this line right here where I took profit on it. I think I have it in here. Yeah. So that was our FOMO loan that we took yesterday, and I rolled it up towards the golden pocket or whatever it was. Yeah, 68,402. So I rolled it up. I rolled it up through here. I think it was right around in here. And that's why I started to hit disbelief about price action. But that was our FOMO long yesterday from the live stream. Um, but this was what I had put out. It's like 1 hour 200 EMA sitting right here. That's such a big gap all the way up here to this 400. It just doesn't make sense to me. But we got there. And they're starting to merge a little bit closer together, which can make the move a little bit more believable at this speed. I do still have worries on the 4 hour time frame, and the 1 hour kept giving me, uh, the 1 hour was bugging me yesterday. You guys remember the 1 hour was bugging me yesterday because I posted up on the 1 hour a few times, and then when I went back and I checked out the let me just turn this one on. Turn this one back on. And then I'll hide this again. But yeah, they're chopping on that 4 hour. Um, I'm sorry, that 400. But when I went back and looked at the 1 hour time frame, the volume kept increasing throughout here. The volume continued to increase. I think once it got up to the golden pocket, and that's why I took profit. That was the first time I saw a change in the volume in here. So you can see through here on this move up, all of that little small chop you see over on the 15-minute time frame, volume kept increasing. Every candle closure, volume increased. It did that up until we got to the golden pocket. You can see right here when we started to get around the golden pocket, the volume had tilted down a little bit, and then it didn't get as high as over here at this point either. So it didn't get as high. I was expecting for us to get some sort of a cool off at this point, and then that's when we broke the momentum on the 15-minute time frame, and we also dropped and closed below standard deviation 1. And then, like I said, this sucker right here happened. And so I think at this point we had tapped into the channel. Yeah. Actually around the golden pocket, yeah. So, you know, which was, what something that part of the idea too, which also lined up with the did that line up with the 20, or was it in here? I can't remember. But yeah. No, this lined up with the 20. I was like, we'll get to the top side of this channel, and then all this extra stuff just like bull crap. But I want us to go higher, and I'm thinking we are, but way too fast and violating a lot of stuff. I hate when price action violates, and it violated a lot of stuff. So this is where we're at. I'm a little bit annoyed today. I'm a little bit annoyed today um, with price action. But we shall see how this goes. How this goes. I did enter another little scalp position yesterday off of. Oh, it was off of this one. I'd entered another one once I saw us this momentum pop out on the 4 hour time frame. Actually, it was for the Coin King because you know, he was whining. So when I saw it, I was like, okay, I'll take the top. And then that was that move right there. And we've been holding this one, holding steady on this one, which is around about where I have that stop at for myself on the long side, which is here. But clear rejections off of it now. Clear rejections off of it now. See what happens when market opens. And this is the gap you see on my 15-minute time frame also, is this gap right here. And this is why I say it could also want to do a full fill, but that means that we lose this. One of the theories yesterday was that we would do, um, one of the theories yesterday was, I'm going to take it from the bottom, was that we come up, do this, drop back into here, and then break out. That's one of the theories from yesterday. So that does drop us below the gap, and I've modified that a little bit today, and you know that I modified it a little bit for today, but because this is around about that same low for that daily, so I just dropped it in a little bit, but we'll see. We'll see. This would be a little bit too lopsided. But we had multiple inverse. You guys saw those. You had the one that was here. That was the one that got us into there. Then we had the one in here. And now I'm looking at possibly getting this. That's a little bit too lopsided for me. And it's hard to even think bullishly. I know it is, given the environment. I keep saying that. You know, I recognize that it's very hard to feel the slightest bit bullish. And I wouldn't even know where this would break out at. Just got to see what that's. Just wanted to see what the 6-day fair value gap was in terms of this even being a probability. It could work. It could most certainly work. And like I said, the only issue I have though is I don't like how the EMAs look on the 4-hour. I don't really like how they look over here. They're squeezing closer together, and that's cool, but I'm still not the biggest fan of them. You can see how this one, my last one, lines up with the low of that fair value gap. So I have to question. I know I'm looking at this. I also have to question, like, how possible is it? You know, that's why when price action gets to that point, we just have to see what everything looks like. You know, how is it reading at that moment? Once, if we do get into here, how is it reading at that moment for the probability? This is a 120 right here. If you've followed me for a little while, you know I use a 120. I use for anybody who, I don't know, everybody has their own style of their EMAs, but I use a 5, a 10, a 26, a 60, a 120, a 200, and a 400. So those are the ones that I use. Every now and then I throw a 1000 in there, but that's typically reserved for like lower time frame price action, like low. But those are the ones that I use. And the reason why I use the ones that I use that are not the common ones, like most people probably would use like I'm going to say most people probably use like a 20 and a 50. The reason why I don't is because most people use it. That's number one. Secondly, 26 is closer to a 20 SMA. It's very close to a 20 SMA. So I use 26 over 20. 10 is similar to a standard deviation 1 on a Bollinger Band. So a lot of times you'll find that the 10 is going to line up somewhere with your standard 1. So I like these two because of their relationship to a Bollinger Band or SMA. And of course, the 2 and the 4, because price action on higher time frames will come into this pocket. A lot of times in between or tapping that one for rejection or support. So that's what I use in terms of my EMAs. It looks like it wants to roll over. It looks like it. It looks like right here. This is a little wider. Right here, got a baby in the cradle. Right here, you got your rollover. You get your support from the bottom, support from the bottom, support from the bottom, support from the bottom. I love these moving averages right here. They're not as clean. They're everywhere, but they're fast, and they give you the fastest reaction. That looks like it's gonna. It looks like it wants to roll over unless we get back above this channel. Unless we get back above this channel, failure to get back above this channel, and we roll down. How low can we go? According to these right here, we want to not go beyond here. Want to not go beyond here. Yikes. Yikes, yikes, yikes. That's it. That was what we look for. It said look at the Bollinger. You got 2 sitting up here and you got 2 sitting down here. What does that mean? You can run through all of this. That's what it means. That means your range of volatility is this freaking wide and you can run through all of this. That's what I said to you. You see it like that, especially around a pattern, you can run through all of that. It means the same to the downside. It means we can run through all of this. In the bearish case scenario, we could run back through all of this and come all the way back down here. That's what it implies. That is what it implies. You see it like that? That means you can run through all of it. It doesn't look like it's prepared for an expansion. It would have to be one of those situations where we stay in between 1 and 2. It would have to be one of those situations. And if you don't have, you could find Bollingers like that on here. I can't remember. It was somebody that had one. It might be mines that come up, but let me see. Oh, that's going to take you to mines. Okay, here's somebody with the triple Bollinger Bands. Yeah. So you saw who was that? Whoever that was. It's called triple Bollinger Band. So you can get it like this. I was going to say if you didn't have it like this already, you could just drop 2, add two Bollinger Bands to your chart, change one to a standard one, and leave the other one at a standard two. But here's somebody that has one. And they got, this is a three for them. So in my case, I wouldn't want to have the three on. Three is good because, outside of three, short is the place to be if it's to the top side, and outside of three, longest place to be is the motto that I say when you're trading outside of a three, standard three. Just like over here, outside of standard three, you want to be looking to get long. So I would turn off. I would turn off his threes. Not that one. Where's your three to the upside? This thing is hot. Oh, okay, but they're both down here. Yeah. I would turn off his threes. Okay, so that was two. I would turn off his threes, and then you just have these two. And, change the color, whatever you want it to do with it. And you can just use that for your moving averages, to be honest with you. Like, I do that a lot. Well, I'll just use that to be breaking. I don't like how it looks. The field looks on this 1 hour. I know it looks funny on this 1 hour, but it worked for the 15-minute time frame. Um, on a 1 hour basis, I would never consider pulling it from there. It would have had to have been the low that's in here, because that's actually a low. That's a pivot. So I would have had to do it like that. Because your golden pocket is usually going to line up with the pivot. More than not, your golden pocket is going to be around a pivot when it's drawn properly. That's another, if you don't know when you're drawing it too, like you want to find a pivot. This isn't it, but it works. It's doable on the 15-minute time frame, which is why it looked like that. Otherwise, you're all the way on your low like that, and just turn on your extra fibs, 50% retracement right through here. With the gap in here around the golden pocket, the gap in here. Around this fair value gap for the 382. If we're bullish, let's just say that this is a flag, I would look for us to hold off of that fair value gap, which would be essentially what I'm looking at over on the other time frame. I think, let me make sure, that's 67,132. Golden pocket 67,029. So they're close together. They're close. They're close. Really need to stop being greedy. Check on that short. Withdraw account. It was also a standard deviation 1 bounce. So like if we're avoiding, I don't know if I had that on over here. If we're avoiding an expansion, I appreciate it bouncing off of that. At that daily level, daily close. I'll be sure to share with you that I got stopped out if that happens over here too on the long side. It looks corrective. It looks corrective. And then too, you see where the 200 again, where the 200 is at this golden pocket, and that's the 200 from the 1 hour time frame, which looks really decent. The 1 hour is looking pretty decent now. I'm not complaining about the 1 hour today. The 1 hour looks pretty good today. It does. Yesterday it was a hit and miss, a hit and miss. Now we're still rolling over. If I show you, and I've showed you this too, but here on the one right here, you can see how we're staying in this Bollinger here. We're staying in between standard 1 and 2 down here. It's sideways here. And here I can actually see a little bit more details in terms of what's happening. And we're standing between standard 1 and 2 below 20 SMA right now. So I'd like to see us get back above the 20 SMA, which you can look for on the actual Bollinger in here. But right now we're below the 20 SMA right now, and we're staying in this pocket right here. We're still okay in here in terms of who's in control. Right now it reads neutral, but bulls are still in control on the 1 hour time frame. This was our pop out right here from the low, of course. We had that squeeze. And I haven't seen one anywhere else. I mean, the daily was the only one that's left to play out is the one we have right here. Just waiting on this one to play out, which is expected to be to the upside, but it doesn't tell me anything about how high we'll go. I try to interpret that from here, but this, and it was already getting a little bit extended, I believe. Yeah, you can see it's above, it's outside of the band because the band is at 53 and it's at 54. So a little extended already. And let's not forget, bears do still reach neutral, but bears still have control of the daily time frame. It is still in control of bears right now, and we know that too, just looking at freaking price action. We did invalidate the bear div off of this pivot right here, but still, nonetheless, we are still putting in unless we get that nice breakout. We got bearish divergence still, unless we get that breakout I'm hoping for. Yeah, so yeah, still got bear divs. Fortunately, that was the bullish divergence I mentioned to you. That was possible off of this level right here, which we validated yesterday, but we're still not managing to invalidate the bear divs here on the daily. Need another good strong candle push. And without it, it's not. Without it, I can understand why people do still remain a bit more bearish or cautious. This could just be a back test. I'm not sure. I think that was a bear div. I think it was. It's too equal. I mean, it looks corrective. I just really, I don't know. I'm just trying to see what it looks like this before I do it on a line chart. And the only reason why I'm having to do it like that is because of that ridiculous wick that's up there. I can't take that out of the equation and just do it like that. I mean, so it does look corrective. I don't want to blind y'all with a ton of lines everywhere. Let me just darken it in. Yeah, that's what we got. It wraps around the Bollinger, so yeah, that's what we got. I'm gonna take these off of the chart, so they're not in the way. But you can see what just depends on how people feel once we come into this liquidity up here, which again would probably be like the top side of the. Let me just drop that in here so I can see if it lines up. Oh, okay, no, that's coming in right here. So that cuts right through where the short, around where the short is at. What that says to me is that we could get like a failed breakout. Potentially, we could see like a failed breakout. Unless we power through, unless we get a powerful move through, it could just be a failed breakout coming up in here, breaking out of this pattern. If we do get back inside of this ascending channel right here, I will drop this channel, and then that way I can take that noise off of the chart. If we reject from it, I'll just reduce it to a line.
What's your target in the chat?
Oh, sorry. My target from here, your target is 67. Yes, it's right there. It's 67 30. 67.030. That's my target. Trying to get to the golden pocket. Because I know at the golden pocket there is potentially support if we were to make our way down here. And it's really hard to say because right now we're still holding support from daily high. So the daily high is this trend, this line right here at the 67,988 is where the daily high is. Um, but if we do manage to get rejected from here, then I will be looking down here towards the golden pocket. You have the 200 EMA for the 1 hour time frame and the fair value gaps that are in here as well. We would just do a full fill of the inefficiency on the 1 hour, which would be to the golden pocket as well. So instead of just getting a halfway point bounce off of the fair value gap, um, we would just fill in the entire inefficiency by tapping into the golden pocket. And of course, psychological level. So first tap would be what I would be looking for the bounce. So it looks like we are rejecting there. Yeah. So I'm just kind of front running it by, I just rounded the number up to be honest with you. Front running it a little bit by rounding the number up. And then the stop is like $400 off from the entry that I took on it. So I'm $400, $400 off, just making sure it covers the wick. I didn't take it from. I wish I had have caught it exactly right there, but I didn't. Um, to minimize my risk a little bit more, but it was a 786 tap. The reason why I took it too. So you can see it was 786 up here around the resistance level, which again is just the body and then the wick. Looks like we might have been rejecting it, so let's go ahead and drop that out of the way. If I need to bring it back up, I will, but don't need the whole thing anyway. If you need that line, you can again always just draw it in through here. Oh, actually, hey, hold on. Yeah, I like that. Not bad. Yep, like that. You just draw it in like that. If you need the line, make sure you capture your wicks and don't leave them any sticking out. I don't think it's necessary anyway because we're in this Bollinger range now. I can kill some confusion by taking it away. Oops, I don't know what happened with the stream. Did something. I'm just going to make a note in here too. I like to use this thing right here. So I'm looking at this area through here that could um, be a possible swing fail. And I'm only saying that because we saw that the channel from the 4 hour was cutting through this top, and we rejected off of it twice already. So just in case. If we get a nice girthy candle, then we'll probably go. But if we're slow grinding through here, then it'll be a possible swing fail. And like I said, patterns are created when you get trapped in between support and resistance. The resistance is the channel from the 4 hour, the channel top, and support has been the daily candle high. should I say the candle close? I'm sorry, daily candle close is the support.
Hmm. Yeah. Fixed one
Back
second.
now to, for me, we back now to 618. You're talking about you talking about this low right here or where we're at now? Oh, you're saying that we go back down to the 618. I think that's probably what you're saying. I wouldn't be mad if we did. I mean, we do keep tapping down here a lot more. And if we keep tapping down in here, we'll likely break it. My target 69, 167 to 7200, 64, um, 64, 500. For this golden pocket, 69, 1. I think if we did, if we did this golden pocket, then chances are we'll get to this liquidity. If we do 69.1, which is this golden pocket, I don't see a reason why we won't go past it. Simply because the liquidity, the biggest pocket of liquidity, is up here. It puts us above the resistance from the daily time frame, above the resistance on the 4 hour as well. So we're above resistance at that point. If we're getting into this golden pocket, I don't see why we don't go higher. And then 67 2. In here we would at least, yeah, in here we'd be below support. So yeah, I would think that we would get into here, and then we have some support in here. Some second area of support is going to be back in here, at least based on the 1 hour support is here. But if we lose that, mm, this is the biggest thing right here. Not losing this, not deviating too far off on this. If we deviate too far from this, really, the 786, we deviate too far from that, we back below resistance, back below the major resistance on the daily. And this is where I would want to see us put in the if we're going to do like an inverse, to put in the right shoulder right here. But yeah, above here, we're above resistance. You don't have this resistance anymore. You don't have the 4 hour resistance anymore. Not right here. We won't. Yeah. So right here, which I hate drawing it like this. Like I said, I do not like to draw it like this. But if I'm talking golden pocket, I'm talking about holding that 200 EMA on the 1 hour. Because if we're trading below that, then we might as well just take our little L and fall further to that next level. But yeah. We could at least swing up from this. If we do that. If we do, yeah, the number looks different. Let me see why. Let me see why my number is off. That's important. They both look like they're around about the same place, but this one seems off a little bit. It is off a little bit. Hmm. It's off. I can't make out what's off. Hmm. Mm. But anyway, that was basically the point I was trying to make, though. The 200. Which is here. $15 is kind of sort of bearish. One hour's not. At least not right now. But 15 definitely is. We keep doing this stupid rise. Um, we keep doing this rise through here. Like we've been catching onto it a little bit, but it keeps rising. And you can see it's not, we're not getting any push through. We're not coming outside of this red line up here. It's not coming outside of that. And then this keeps rising, which tends to, make for a bearish drop, which I think that low right there comes in somewhere near the golden pocket. Yeah, comes in near the golden pocket. Now I can clearly see the bear divs. Can see it on the RSI. I can see it in here. I can see the bear div. Bear div. Bear div. And of course, so was that wick that stopped me out. That was a bear div. Also, bearish intent. But yeah, this has been bearish. So I'm not a big fan of the 15-minute. The 1 hour looks a lot better. 1 hour drops us back to the top of the cloud. So on the 1 hour, it drops us back here on top of it with all of the other um, like the 200 EMA, the top of the cloud, uh, golden pocket, full fill of the inefficiency right here instead of the fair value gap. Just fill in this inefficiency completely at that point. So I can see this easy. But I'm Sloan, so one of them will win, one of them will lose. But that's that situation. This looks clean. This isn't. This is pretty good. That 15 is terrible, and then the low. Don't want to see this happen. Because we just gonna go all the way back down there if we're not holding here. We got support, support, which was prior resistance from the daily. This was yesterday when I said if we get past here, then we don't have anything but space and opportunity to push up. Because this was the only thing holding us back on the daily was that resistance right here. So we lose this again, then we'll likely hit back towards the low. And this is what was holding us back. You got resistance, resistance. It was support there, and it was resistance all through here. But once we got past that, you can see how easy it was for us to just shoot up. So this is the line in the sand right here. Lose this, it's not gonna be pretty. It's not gonna be pretty. I mean, bears will get what they want if we lose this right here. Um, this would be, praying right here. Believe in prayer. That'd be praying right there. Um, below here, like doomsday. It was what we needed to get this move. So it's what bears need to get their drop down. We'll lose that again. Daily, you won't even see it because it's bearish. Uh, Daily is bearish. Bears still have control of the daily time frame. Obviously, you can see all that. Like we're still underneath here, which means we're still bearish. We're very as long as we're below here, we're bearish. Like this is how the 15-minute is trying to do this thing right here, where it rise up, rise up, rise up, so it can price will get trapped down below it, and then we start rolling back over like this. But it's here, it's above us, so I know we're still bearish, and you can see it in price action, of course. But this is what we kept hammering. yesterday until we broke it. And then once we broke it, this is that daily I'm talking about. Once we got above here, then boom. And then I said to you, all the rest of the resistance is going to come from your highs now. As you don't, as long as we stay above here, we lose this again, then we're bearish again. But as long as we're above it, and we have a chance to get higher than where we are now. But this is where our resistance is at now, and this is what we keep holding. You can see the daily open candle right here. You can see how that lines up right across there. We're trying to hold this as support right now. So drop that, which is what we're trapped in between, which is why we're getting that pattern. We're trapped in between that and then the resistance from the 4 hour. Trying to hold. But this I don't like. And we could see it a lot better. Let's see, when I was on the 53, actually, this is going to be a little bit more jumpy. You can see how this is like what I'm saying, like that 1 hour look like it's trying to do this thing right here where it comes up above, puts in this swoop, and then we start trading down below. We did it 1 or 2 times over here. This time frame is going to be a lot more jumpy. No, I just stick with the 15. Let's see. Yeah. Outside of that, there's no clear direction. I'm leaning on this, but ugh, sticking around this low too much. It just increases the probability. Mm. This is the second day in a row I forgot to put something on here to buffer my awkward silentness. I get really silent when I start thinking. I would think of this like uh, a P shape profile, volume profile, which means you usually project from a P down. We'll see. We'll see if this is just correct. It's likely the more we hang around this low, which sucks. And I thought I had a loan set up in here. I think I have it on. No, I don't even have it on over here. Uh, this is the. I'm in a slong. I'm short. I'm short. I'm shorting this. Short in resistance and a long in support. So I am slonging. Um, so this is the short of the resistance, and this is the long on support that I'm in, which seems like it leans more towards here. This is just the blow fan chart since I trade on blow fan. This is the line in the sand right here. This is the one that could ultimately, if we get it, could shoot us up to take out um, that second pivot of liquidity, which I said is this right here. We'll get to this if we hang on where we are, but we have to hang on. Trying to hang on, trying to hang on right here. That's what we keep trying to hang on right here. But if we hang on right here, or I mean, if we drop, then like I said, these are the lows right here, the line in the sand, that ultimate one that could push us into this liquidity right here. Because right now we can move from here to here. We can move all the way back to the top of this band right here. We can move from here to there. If we're holding here, we drop here, then I'll be looking for that to hold. We lose that, then automatically go back down here. So it is. Right now, they're both trying to hang on to some sort of. And that's the long, the one that you saw on the other chart. That's the long. And then, like I said, I'm slonging because I don't know what's going to happen right now. I don't have a clear direction. I have what I'm thinking. Then that's the short. That's the one you see right here. Because I don't know. I don't have a clear direction on the 15-minute. So I'm just doing them both until one of them will hit, one of them will lose. And you can see the long is down a little bit more than the short because we keep hanging around the low. Look like we're starting to squeeze. See the Bollinger's tightening up. I mean, we can see from the triangle that we're squeezing in a little bit more, but the Bollinger's actually just turned in a little bit more in here. And I have no direction right here because um, it hasn't really, it's not tightening at all. Like it's not tightening like it did over here, where I can say, okay, I know I'm gonna drop, of course, all of that too. I know I'm getting to a place where the drop is more likely. I got nothing right here, got no clear direction, so just trying to play them both, and you can see it turning in a little bit, but no clear direction. So, I mean, you could, like I say, you can long off of this line right here. There's a clear invalidation below it. Yeah, you can long off of this with a clear invalidation just below it. I'm giving myself at least a $400 drop, or $400 stop, which is about a 50 to 60 on both sides. So less than a 1%. Mm, MACD is not useful in this case. It's bearish, but I mean, it's not useful in this case. Did you see it yesterday? Look at that. All the way up to the very top. Just straight up. And people kept trying to short that. That. MACD was just straight in the air. That was wild. It's flat now. This is squeeze. MACD squeeze. Useless now. Turn. We had flip gamma positive yesterday too. Um, we're closing back in now towards the negative gamma flip. This isn't up to date. Right now, it's not up to date. And then let's see it. And in here yesterday, before we started to get the pullback, like you could see, like here in the options, like you can see the new orders that were opening to the upside, which is changed a little bit. Changed a little bit. I think this one refreshes before market opens, but every like 15 minutes or something like that on this one. 15-minute delay. A lot more bears than anything. Um, a lot more bearish contracts anyway. I can look at gold while I'm here too. I didn't plan on because gold is doing absolutely nothing. What is nothing? Gold. Um, just still just hanging out. Like I said to you yesterday, like it's not even dropping below the 382, which is shallow, which you would expect for it to do more since it's still holding above that 382. It's outside of this ascending triangle right now, but it's just it's just sideways, just chilling. And I showed you yesterday too how it's basically held support from the highs in here. If you look at it like that, then you see that all it did was hold this high. It's just holding this high right now. You get it below here, then you might have something else, but right now it's holding, so I don't see a reason to be overly bearish on it. I mean, you be taking your chances in here like everything else, but it's not even losing that. It's not even losing that. Just hanging out on that, hanging onto the 382, 382 right there. So where to get it in there because it's so wicky through here. I just turned the wicks off. Because with the wicks. So my thought was, still the same. Like I said yesterday, that maybe it would just continue to sideways until it gets like somewhere around this center part right here and drop through here, golden pocket, 786, something like that. It may continue to do that move until that, but doing nothing. Silver, basically, huh? Okay, silver. At least silver was moving. It's not stagnant like Bitcoin. I'm not saying Bitcoin. Bitcoin's on my mind right now. It's not stagnant like gold. I'm doing nothing at all. You know, this is getting support in here. Not being support, which means I get rid of I can go ahead and get rid of this. We haven't violated it, but I mean, it's just been dragging on and on and on. At this point, I don't see a purpose in using it. Just try it. Mm-hmm. Okay, not bad if it holds. Not bad if it holds. You'll get one more opportunity right here. I mean, that would be if it came down to there. If you can see this is. Mhm. So, I hate to just drop a line and be wrong. Better, not better. So that's broken this little line. Maybe you can get it back here. And, anticipate the take on that. Ooh, that's a lot. have to be taken. Or at least I wouldn't. I think it had already. No, it never did do the gold. It didn't. Never did. That was one of the things that I had to wait on for gold to do was to hit the golden pocket finally. It never did get in here, so if it is going to get in there, decent risk to reward. Yeah, I usually look for it to hold right here, but like I say, it comes back down here to the bottom side of the channel of the trend line right there. Support north. Yeah, might come back up. Could be an ascending. It's kind of wonky. I don't like all this space in here, but definitely still a change of market structure a little bit, just right through here. Not per se this time frame, but yeah, get that back there. Not even trying that hit home. That could be the move for silver. I don't trade it, but that could be the move for it. Yeah, copper. This is still going, so I don't got anything for this right now. I'm still going, still looking to see for that SFP up here. Um, but yeah, that could be the play for silver. If you get that, looks like get into that golden pocket at least into that golden pocket, maybe back up to here, work through the golden pocket and getting right there. Just be conservative with how people react to golden pocket. Or leave it like that. But possibly right here. Partially. All right, Bitcoin. I think this is just going to kind of range a little bit into market opens anyway. And then, I guess we'll see the bears come in. The real bears come in because it's just been doing nothing right now. I haven't looked at Ethereum and Solana simply because my charts are messed up. Um, Computer reset, and I didn't feel like trying to fix them. Oh, yeah, USDT dominance. This is the only other chart that I've picked besides gold. USDT dominance has like this little equal low in here that I was looking at. Because recall, we got the rejection from here that we were looking for. We got that, and that helped fuel us on Biddy. And of course, it's an inverse correlation to Bitcoin, inverse to Bitcoin, and got this little equal low to here. I'm wondering, because I know we're at support, but I'm wondering if we dig in here and get that. Notice we didn't touch that 786 yesterday. I'm wondering if we dig in here and get this. I hope it doesn't bounce away. This is a bearish pattern. Again, this is a bearish pattern. This is what we got on Bitcoin on the 15-minute time frame that I'm not liking. Is this pattern right here. which you saw we already broke the lower side of that. We did. We broke the ascending lower line on the 15-minute time frame. And so while it looks like we're going sideways, we could just be heading for that low. Um, but this is a bearish pattern. I wonder if they'll drop it in and take this out first. Yeah, this whole thing I expect to break down, but I mean, or at least come back to the low here is my thoughts. Um, Especially after the rejection, which again, for anybody who don't know, is and you see my circles, yeah, is this right here, which is what I looked for on this initial move. But on this initial move right here, I actually missed this because I didn't bother with looking at the top side. I just had my lower side in. I didn't bother looking at the top side. And so, um, yeah, I was thinking that we were going to stop here the first time, but then we tapped the top side of uh, that trend line right there instead. So I was like, next time we come back up, we can look forward to just come right here because it broke it the first time. Might not be that lucky this time, and it wasn't. So hopefully they'll come in for this. We get a get that larger move on Bitcoin and come back down here. Hopefully, but no guarantee. Because if we bounce from here, ooh, I don't know if we'll stop right here again. We might not. It'll be what everybody's been hoping for is Bitcoin to take this liquidity right here, which means USDT dominance comes into here instead. Around that 9.48, just in 9.50, 9.27%. Yeah, that'll happen instead. There's no market is keen on doing stuff like that, and people actually do trade USD Tether. So that looks juicy, in my opinion. Looks juicy. As far as the VIX goes, it deleted my VIX data. I didn't feel like trying to go in and draw out my boxes anymore. I just dropped these two lines on it because they were the easiest thing for me to do versus trying to go back and find what the horizontal zones of support and resistance were coming in at. So everything got a nice move yesterday with the VIX, especially tumbling down. I knew that we up here, I had it lined out where we could see the resistance zone in here. Like I said, the computer did something the other day, the day before yesterday, where it updated my PC and it deleted a lot of my technical analysis. And it's too much work to go back and try to fix things. If it had not been on the chart for more than a week, it deleted it, which is weird stuff. But we have been bouncing off of this. The VIX have been bouncing off of here and coming up. And then the last pattern we had was like a rising pattern or something through here and um, something. But anyway, yeah, everything should have got a nice little move in here. Ooh, the Microsoft that which bounced off the 786. But I said I wasn't taking that 786 bounce. Um, so let the VIX keep rolling over. Hey, here Nvidia had earnings yesterday. I didn't look at it. See Bitcoin, we still just sideways. Nvidia had earnings. I didn't look back at it, but it probably invalidated the spider. See SPY? It's on the 1 hour though, of course. Yeah. I'm usually looking at it on the 4. It deleted my let me see. I don't know if it deleted my SPY stuff or not. It did. It deleted all of my technical My technical can you believe that crap? It deleted all of the spy stuff. Now the spy stuff had been on here for a long time, so I don't know why it deleted the spy stuff, but all of that's gone unless I'm in the wrong pane and I need to be in this one. But look at Microsoft. Because remember we bounced off of here. I don't know if it ever invalidated the long setup, but I know it took me out of the trade because I moved my stop. I moved my stop. I didn't have time to for that, but it's still been in it. But I moved my stop, and I don't regret it. And I said I wasn't gonna take it. Um, I'm not gonna take it off of the 786, even though I knew it was at the 786. I said we have to come down here for me, down here, down here somewhere for me to want to take it. So you're at this trend line right here, right now, breaking through that. Anyway, just gonna sit on my hands and see if I can't get this lower. Probably not. Probably not. And that was really close. That was really close. I think it gets hit. I say it gets hit. And of course, if you had not been here, I shared that I moved the take profit if it plays out to just the gap fill, and that's it. Bitcoin still chilling, still chilling. I heard some people were trying to short the Dow, which probably had every right to do so. Yeah, guarantee you, I got a bump in here somewhere, some kind of bump. No, you just said it. Just came down here towards the low. Okay, still a nice little move for Dow. Can't really be bearish until it's gone. You know, I mean, you can from the high, but from here you might just be holding and going back up. Oh, was it Nvidia had earnings? Yeah, that's that's done. That's done. And you see how it had got that pop, that bounce up, and but then it had started doing all this before earnings, though I think. Yeah, this is before earnings. Right here, it came back up and started going sideways and stuff. But yay, and this is invalidated now. Nvidia can never really get Nvidia like you want it. And I sold some Nvidia, anticipating that we were gonna go down a little bit more. It's the first time I'd taken profit on Nvidia too, so I needed to take some. I rolled it into, not all of it, but I did take a position on Amazon, um, because I said I like this, even though I expect lower for AMI, um, which I'll still be waiting on, but I just bought some on spot. Now that's for a trade if I end up getting it. No follow through here. Still underneath here a little bit. Yeah, this one played out fully, and the other one, if it gives, is supposed to go down. No, actually, the other one was based on the price that came up to here, which it didn't. It executed this one instead, and rolled over. But I'm still waiting to see if I can't get in down here, right about this gap. Um, and this is a point 886 right here. But we got a momentum line down through here that I'm seeing if we can't get into that, where the VWAP is down here. I think if I zoom out, then we tap VWAP. No, no, it didn't. It didn't even tap it. I'm gonna say it tapped it exactly through here, but it didn't. So that would be wrong. But golden pocket bounce. It did it twice, and that's the only reason why I took it. Otherwise, I had no plans on on pursuing Amazon. I think Google was coming down. I didn't have a position set up, and yeah, I did. I did have a position set up, and we hit that. Oh, I just remember I didn't take it. I told you guys on stream. That's what it was. I told you on stream. I said, "Hey, you can take this long right here," but it came real close to stopping this out to that day. So you can take this long on Google, but I wouldn't expect for it to do any more than this level right here, where you can see. Yep, I got circles for all the circle people who like to joke about the circles on the chart. I got them. I highlight the trail of price action. But I said it probably wouldn't get any further than here. Might still go. More circles. Please believe. Off of that support and that momentum line right there with the intent that it was going to hold. So that played out all the way. All the way to a T, baby. To a T. I didn't trade it. So no kudos to me. I didn't see what Apple is doing because, okay, it came all the way back up. We've been holding really good through here. As was the last time I looked at it, was getting into here, and that was based on the inverse head and shoulder measure move that we got right here that played out perfectly. Then we dropped back into the momentum line. There's another one down through here that I said if Apple were to break it this time, I'd be looking down here. This is actually not a momentum line, but that VWAP does pair up with the mean reversion here for Apple. But hey, it's still riding that momentum line through there, still going. So that's sweet. What is this over here? Got something down through here. Okay. Nothing new here unless it comes out through here. I haven't checked to see like what else is happening in here with it. Um, it'd be great if it got all the way back up here. It would be great if it did that. I don't know what the chances are of that happening, but um, I don't know. For some reason, I don't think you'll tap here again and be successful. If this rolls over, it'll be back down here, in my opinion. There, or oh, those are three areas I'm looking at. Oh, it's two. There and then here. At this momentum line down here, which is a long fall from grace. So I hope that doesn't happen. Market is looking okay right now. Intel popping back up. It had, I think we looked at this. I don't know if we looked at this a couple of days back. I haven't really covered the stocks since I think it was Friday or something. Um, I think that was the last time. I would probably be done with this because this was from back over. It wasn't that high. It was actually from there, from that fall back in right there. So I would be out of this. Well, if it's gonna be holding here, probably want to be out of it personally. I think this is garbage, but it keeps wanting to hold this level. I was looking for us to drop back to here, but we keep holding. We keep holding right here. So we're not actually getting that full move down here on AMD. If we do, then I'm interested right there because that's the bottom side of the channel right there. Be looking to take this top side of the channel up there, so you can see that's a pretty nice drop if we get there for a long. I don't know if I already have that set in here or not. I don't, but that is that's what I'm looking for. There is a worse scenario for it, but that's not what I'm looking for AMD. Bitcoin still holding, still holding. I haven't looked back at AVGO. And yeah, I mean, I'm still looking at the two things I was looking at, which is the bottom side of the channel, but we've been holding on to this gap pretty good. Um, because I know that the first time we did it, we rejected back from there, back in, actually filled it in. Just kind of, I don't know what this is right through here. Um, I hadn't really looked at QTD with it. Got earnings coming up next month. Probably wait until then to do anything. There's no follow through on either side. If anything, it's been throwing out long signals because it's not really deviating too far. I might try to. Actually, I can't trade. I don't think I can trade AVGO on BTCC. I don't think I can. Who else was there? Oh, Tesla. Has it really been doing this all this time? Like really doing nothing so far? Like, it's been a long time for it to still just be here. I know I'm still waiting for a move somewhere down here in the low threes. Low threes. But um, it's Tesla, you know? It's Tesla. I'm willing to jump long though if it comes up. If it comes up, I mean, it's too far away from support right now for me to want a long down there. Long from here. Pre-market. 24. Yeah. We then validated the, yeah, just getting long signals. I don't know. Higher low. It's a higher low. I have a limit order still sitting open for this level right here, which is 64. I haven't gotten filled. Obviously, I haven't gotten filled on it yet, but I know we broke through here, so I don't think that there was another I don't think that there was another trend for me to try to capture aside from the horizontals and to the upside here, but I bought some on spot that I'm holding. So that's more of a long-term play. This I know absolutely just okay, it's still rejecting from here. Oh, looks like we might be trying to get back in there. I knew we couldn't afford to lose this because if we lost, and of course we had that momentum line that was through here, and I said I believe that coin price was already factored in when they had their earnings call. You know, we got the rest of the little drop, but I think all that was factored in, and sure enough, it didn't go any further because I set buy orders down through here, and then I realized, you know, it's probably priced in. I'm not going to get them. So I closed all of those buy orders out because I was looking for some lower targets. If we did drop below here, but I was only willing to buy it if we drop below here. Because below here, then we get an expansion on coin and some more serious rollover. We didn't get it, and right now it's chopping this trend line. Maybe it can reject and come back down, but if it doesn't, I mean, that was the low for anybody who caught it. That was amazing for anybody who caught it. And of course, you know, as always, bearish pattern, but I mean, how far is it gonna go? Down here, it's coin. I don't think they're prepared to die or anything. But this was the last like zone with the Bollinger Low right here. That's what that line is, Bollinger Low. But it held to a T. And I think this was from a from a monthly. It's a monthly Bollinger Low. I try to use. I'm real big on 3 month on stock market. So 3 month is my go to when it comes to the stock. To the stonks. To the stonks. It's almost back up here. I had bought through here. I had bought this drop into the channel, and then of course I got stopped out because we did nothing but roll over from that point. Trying to hold this little thing. Almost back at the top. All right. Let's see if Nettie want to break out. I'm just waiting for Netflix to get in here. At least all the way back down here towards this jumble. I have no circles here. So you're welcome. I was waiting for it to get back to this jump right here, which didn't happen yet. So it might not happen. How about that? I might reconsider if I can get. I'd be going right into resistance likely though. But if I reconsider right through here, the price came back down into here. That could be rad. It could be a little inverse head and shoulder and pop out of here. It ain't shabby. It ain't shabby. But this is 6 months. No, it's 3 months. It's 3 months. It's 3 months. I don't think I got an update on 3 months. I don't have to update 3 months too often. So that's why I was waiting on it to get down into here somewhere. But yeah, if it does wanna, I'd be happy. I like that sandwich. It's in a sandwich right now. Netflix. It's cheap enough. I really ain't mess with Meta too much. Um, Nothing's changed in here. It look like it's not doing this. That's about it. I was looking for it to break, but it wasn't going to do it until it broke here anyway. It has to break here. Look like I need to push that line up a little bit. So it's off ever so slightly. We'll have to break that anyway. Let's see what I'm working with. It's a weekly, so I know that this isn't right anymore. Can't be right. The 3 month slap. 1 month. The 3 month I really like a lot. I know this is old. but it's been holding. So looking at, oh, I was trying to say that this could be like a head and shoulder, which it really don't look like one. I don't think none of them ever look textbook. And I know that's what I was saying. So I'm still waiting on this. I know we've been sitting inside this golden pocket right here. I hear somebody selling something like that. I'm still waiting on this to play out. Shoulder, head, shoulder here. After we got that breakdown through here. But we've been holding this golden pocket, but 786 momentum line clean through here. So I'm looking, if I put it in here and I didn't, I'm looking to get long in here. Hopefully it will be somewhere over here. I'm looking to add, like it would be spot. It would be spot play, of course. But I'm looking to add. So this really won't matter too much to me. Having that won't matter to me because it will be spot. I'm looking to add right here. Those be my key levels. You can see I'm far off right now from where I initially bought some spot, and then next key level would be here for me. So it's a win-win. I don't have to buy any more in here. I don't have to until it hits my level for me to buy some more. And either it stays in here and I stay at the same amount of money where I'm down at, or it comes back and puts me in profit. That's how that works. I'm not gonna buy it. I heard this was up like 35%. Still respecting these old freaking zones. These things are so old. But it likes them. And this is everybody's go-to on the option bag or the market maker on the contracts. Like these infamous little spots right here. I'll be glad when this does. I had some stuff in here aside from those strikes. Those are old though. Those are old, but it seem to still be holding out. Watching Bitcoin, trust me, I'm watching Bitcoin. There's nothing else in here. I don't. Sound hasn't done anything in a long time. See 777. I think it likes this spot right here a lot. Yeah, it likes this. It likes this one right here a lot. This was where we played it the last time, up to the $20. But it tends to like this one a lot. Let me pull these out. I haven't touched this in a long time. Tends to like that one. I would do this, but I'm too late now. Unless I buy spot and then, have something else down in my spot portfolio. I think those are the ones I really look at. Strategy. Nothing has changed with this stuff in here either. Uh, Nothing will change with these until something new comes up. Oh, I remember saying that if we got, when we were here, that this was the last one. You lose that, you're gonna come here. If you lose this one, then get ready for 75. Get ready for 75. If get ready for 75. If if it, looks like it's trying to reject off of there. If it's not getting back in, like getting back into the support level, and it's flipping the prior support zones, and I usually drop down to a lower time frame to play these zones. That's why they look so tight through here. Um, maybe it'll bounce again if it does reject. around 105. I lose 105, and I'll be looking at 75 for strategy. There's nothing in between there. Not as far as I can, as far as I see it. That's going to be it for it. I'm waiting on Bitcoin. Not really looking at those. Uh, that's fine. I think I need a 4. Damn. Get in. And then cut it if it don't work. You're at the place if you want to play Exxon. You're at the place to get in right here. If you wanted to take risk on it, and then set your stop just below that low right there. Um, if it doesn't play out in your favor, but it has held up through here. It looks like it got like a trend progression through here, and it could be corrective right there. The sideways, which means Bollinger's just going sideways. It was like holding in between. Hold on, let me see something. Ooh, yeah, that would have to be your get in and get out all in one. It's not following through on any downside price action, so it could be okay. I don't really like it when I see it like that, but that could be what you got there. But I don't know, I gotta stop doing that. Let me see. So it is just out. Yeah, that would be your get in and get out right here. Like you would be just below here in case it wanted to expand. Um, but that's your moment right here. Everything is showing that that's the place. Either gonna make or break right there. Gonna make it or break right there. I think we had a high target on this. I know I do. I have a. Uh, it's a long way off from that target, but that's the upside target. So this is gonna take forever. So this is still trying to get there, wrestling with this top over here, wrestling with that high. But maybe on a pullback, you want to get in if you can get if it gives a pullback, and then get that continuation up. I just know that's what I'm looking for on this one is for it to just keep climbing higher. I can't remember when we did this, but it's been pretty good. I can remember when we did this. Um, Still hasn't got to the target yet. I put some areas in here that I thought we might see some stalling out on it. Gone within reason. Yeah. It's just really slow though. Anybody want to stick around and wait on all that? I think we said this was just something that ranges. It gets up here and then it rejects. And we were waiting on it to get up here and that's basically what it did. It got up there and it rejected. So either it stays that way or we have another target for it if it breaks out. So far it's only done that. So it's just it's just done that. So nothing's changed on that. I think I did anything on UL. Oh, just the top. That's it. That's the top. Did not. What was I looking at in here? Oh, yeah. Looking at double top in here for it to make a measured move down, and it didn't do it. It just came back to that. So I guess this is no bueno anymore. This thing's been ranging since 2018. This has been the high since 2018. I don't see a reason to not short that. Short it. Short it. Since 2018, this is all it's done. And if it does something different, hooray. But it has not been outside of here. It's not been outside of that candle. The candle that formed this box has not been outside this candle. I think it's a good short. Oh, it's nowhere for me to trade it. So based on what I use, nothing. Cat. We looked at. Let's see. I've done post updates on cat, so talked about it probably breaking out of this little flaggy formation in here, and I said I wouldn't look to short it unless it closed below here. So if it closed below here, then I look to short it. Otherwise, I'll be looking for a break out of this pattern right here, and it continues to dance on my circles, continue to dance on this trend line right here. Looking for a swing fail on it though. If it doesn't, I do state that cat can get up here to 906. Just be a low, really slow grind. But 906 for cat would be my next target to the upside without that SFP. 906. FedEx. You can't see it from there. You have to be right like this. Talked about swing fail potentially on FedEx if it swing fails and comes back in. If it doesn't swing fail, because we did get extended right here. Once again, it was extended again in the past, and in the past it got extended here every time too. So I did do a post update on this a couple of weeks, about 2 weeks ago. I did a post update on this right here. For the exhaustion that could be coming in right in here. It might have been like a week and a half or something like that because it looked kind of fresh. It wasn't that long back though. Um, and I updated you on this, and I said, hey, if it, look for the swing fail simply because it was extended in this area right here, and it swing failed with the same exhaustion that I saw when it hit here. So either that happens, or I added an additional extension in here on it, which is for 436.20 right there. Um, because it's I don't know, it's challenging in here right now. And I said it looks good, and it remains to look good. It continues to look really, really, really good. So whatever happens in here, it's mediocre. Just waiting for it to cool off a little bit. It's slow. We're waiting for it to cool off a little bit for that next extension move is going to be right here, the 436, and then of course the 1.618. The target is here for FedEx. It does that. Let's see what this is. Yeah, this thing right here has been killing it, killing it, killing it. Came back down for a clean bounce off of that low. How about that? How about that? Because initially I looked at it like this, and then I drew these touches through here, came back in, tap, boom. Boom, 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 boom. It's getting above this resistance now. So we need to be looking at some targets for this, which I said to you, because I had to put this on, I put this on a 2-day or something. Let me see in the daily, 2-day, daily. I don't know, where were we at? It should pop up. $24. Oh, that was the only place to see it at. Yeah, because we were trying to figure out what's the best way to draw out the pattern. in here, and that happened to be it. So there's really no really clean way of trying to figure this thing out. It's just ugly, just ugly. So I got some lines somewhere else. Guess I don't. Have any lines anywhere else? But it's definitely above the resistance. It could just continue to hang out around this and then fall back in here too. But yeah, because it really doesn't have any follow through in a sell signal right now. It really has no follow through to the downside. It's just giving these little weak moves up right now. Let's look at a different time frame. Okay, not bad. Not bad. You can tell that this, whatever this is doing, is like you, uh, it looks like it's flagging. That's all I know. It looks like it's flagging through here, which it's a messy draw off of that 24, but it looks like it's flagging. Let's see on the weekly. Yeah, weekly, you still holding up above here, no deviation below it. I see Bitcoin coming down a little bit more. Can we jump back on Bitcoin's chart? Because once we start to move on Biddy, then I got something to talk about and have anything to talk about before. All right. Look like we might roll over for sure. Even though the first move may not show it as an expansion, first move may not. Um, I don't think I want to take that L, y'all. I don't think I want to take the L I was committed to taking. I tell you right now, I don't change my mind. I changed my mind. I want to. I was gonna hold on to it for my for that stop down there. I don't want to take that L. I'm still gonna take a loss. I don't want to take as much of a loss as I was willing to take. So I'm still in it, just in case. If I can see it, probably likely going to take me, take it out, then I just want to modify it a little bit. Just cut my loss in half. That's all. Make sure I got that right over here, just in case. I didn't realize the time had flew by either. So about 30 minutes until market open. I'm gonna go ahead and just say thank you for joining me today. I am down to Crypto TA. If you want to get updates about levels and how to actually spot levels and make proper decisions, you can follow me at down to Crypto TA, and you can also subscribe to the Coin King channel where I do this 6 a.m., usually 6 to 8. I went over a little bit since I was waiting on Bitcoin to do something so I could make sure I was here on the scene with you and we could kind of make that decision together. But about 30 minutes till market opens. I'm well past my time and I am a little bit dry mouth right now. So I mean that's what I would be looking for. If Bitcoin drops below, if it loses um, the daily level, which is around the daily closing here. If it loses that, we take out this liquidity right here. I would be looking for the golden pocket to get tapped. Full fill of the 1 hour fair value gap is what that would end up meaning. Um, if it's doing more than that, that's going to put price action below the 200 EMA on the 1 hour time frame. I'd be a little bit skeptical of that happening because because then it puts us at risk of this zone down here, which, is the line in the sand in terms of the daily. It's like this is the resistance. This is the resistance that held us up. This is where we got resistance from, and before getting the break above here to be able to get this nice little move that we got in here. So if we're falling back below here, then chances increase that we go back down there towards that low. That's about all I can say about that. So, um, I will update you on X. I am at Down to Crypto TA on X and also the Coin King DACOINKING. Until next time, enjoy your day. We're going. We're going.